Hi, I'm Eddie. Welcome to my GT4.
Right, if you like your Caymans, you're going to love this car. This is as good as they come. I'm going to talk you through this Cayman 981. It's a GT4. It's the top of the pack. It's the alpha male. This is going to be a long video, and I'm telling you that right now, and I'll make no excuses for this because the insight Eddie has shared with us, there's been insight coming all the time, okay? So I've learned from this. I hope you learned from this. Eddie's trying to rev so loud he can't even hear me. No excuses, it's going to be a long video.
It's the first Porsche I've owned that I felt so attached to. I've had the 911, I've had a Boxster, I've had another Cayman. I like the Cayman, the previous 981 Cayman, and this may be sacrilege to some. I actually prefer the Cayman over the 911.
You heard it here first, guys.
Both the 981 Cayman and the GT4 are instantly, it's like, that's it, that's the Porsche I've always wanted.
Hi there, welcome to a super exciting video. I'm so excited. We're with Eddie over here. He's the owner of this beautiful red Cayman GT4, and it's not even the normal red that I'm used to. What's the name of this colour?
Carmine.
Carmine red. It just pops. It's like a baby Ferrari. Okay, it's better than a Ferrari, but I mentioned Ferraris there for a reason. We'll come on to that later. Join us in this video. It's a Cayman GT4. This is the granddaddy of Caymans. Okay, if you're in a Cayman GT4, you're at the top of that ladder. Okay, the cockpit is awesome. It's had some exhaust mods done on the car. It's the business. I followed this car on the way down here. We've just parked mine away. We're going to go for a quick drive in Eddie's Cayman GT4. Thank you very much for allowing me access to the car. Start her up, man, come on. Oh yeah. Bye, there's my car. Let's hope it's still there when we come back.
Oh yeah, it will be.
What I find so shocking is that when I got into my Cayman S, the same things that I'm feeling about the Cayman S I'm feeling now, but on another level.
The previous Cayman I had, great car as it is, this feels a lot tighter, a lot more, it even feels more compact, if anything, even though it's not. It's pretty much the same size, but it feels, because of the cabin, the seats, and the way it handles it, it feels like a more compact car. Every time I get in the seat, whether I'm doing a short run or a long road trip, brings a smile to my face.
We're doing some corkscrew here. That's got to be a 360 if not more. Just listen to that. Oh yes. If you could summarise for anyone that's got a base 981 jumping into a GT4.
The first thing you notice is the height. The height is so much lower. Even though it's like only what, 30, 40 millimeters lower, and it does look it, but when you get inside it's like you're sat on the floor almost. That's the first thing you notice. And then the second thing is when your hand on the steering wheel, it's Alcantara. And again, that's slightly different. And it's a bare bones steering wheel with no gimmicks.
Oh, I love the steering wheel. I mean, I know everyone, it's a personal preference. Some people like the multi-function stuff, but I like my steering wheel to turn the car and that's it. I don't want all the switchgear up on there.
And it's simple, it's basic. It does one job and one job only. That's it. And it's very much driver focused.
I don't know what you've done in your life to get to this stage, but I'm sure you've worked hard. It just makes all that effort worthwhile, you know? Punch your foot down, smile on your face. All that work was worth it.
I don't worry about it being an expensive car, because if I did that all the time, I would go through life being stressed non-stop. And didn't buy it to just look at it.
One of the things on the reviews talked about the gearing, said it's a bit longer.
Yeah. In theory, you could do about 80 or so in second gear, and it is longer. It is not ideal, but you make the most of it. So I end up spending a lot of time in second and third gear, and yes, it cost me more in fuel, but the sound.
It's got that. There we go. We got a guy in a Honda Civic Type R giving us a bit of gas. This is what I love. Hey, you know what? Yes, this is great. I'm always happy for people when they've got something that gives them pleasure. And you know, I always like it when you see someone, and you know, they've worked hard for it. You've got to enjoy yourself, let your hair down. So I'm so happy for you, Ed. Seriously.
Thank you. Sounds glorious through a tunnel.
Tunnel. There we go. Oh, that was awesome, Eddie.
I didn't buy this to keep it as a garage queen or anything like that.
This is where I take my hat off to you, because talking about cars, being driven in a GT4, it's the best experience ever. So many GT4 owners, they're precious about their cars, they don't want to put the mileage up too much, and I know you make good use of your car, you know, so it's really good to see someone that's making good use of their car. Most GT4s for sale, the mileages are really low, like 2,000, 4,000. About 5,000 is considered high mileage for a GT4, call it 7,000. But you're making the most of your car, you're driving it, and that's what these cars are made for. They're not museum pieces. So
absolutely.
I'll take my hat off to you for that.
Every car I have, I buy to drive. Ultimately, I'm a Ferrari man, and I want to get into a Ferrari at the end of it. And the Porsche Cayman GT4, I thought, would enable me to not lose money, still enjoy the car, and potentially, if I didn't opt for a Ferrari at the end of it, I could keep it and still enjoy it. But so the part of the idea behind it is to use it to step up to maybe a 328, Ferrari 328, or 360, or 430, or 355. I haven't decided yet.
So you were thinking that before you got the Cayman GT4. Now you own it, now you know what the car's like. Is that still something you want to do then? You still want to get that Ferrari?
Yes, but I really like the Cayman as an overall entire package, because I can treat it as a normal car, I can treat it as a sports car, I can also treat it as an investment, although I'm not really, only partially. But ultimately, if I wanted to, it might still enable me to get a Ferrari. But I do like the GT4.
To me, your GT4 in that colour as well, it's kind of like my ideal car. But if we're going to talk about boyhood dreams, because of the posters I had in my bedroom wall, for some reason it's a Lamborghini, okay? For you it's a Ferrari, and there's something about achieving that boyhood dream where I think I'm sensing that from you. It's not the fact that the GT4 is not well engineered enough for you, but in terms of aspirations, it's just not a Ferrari.
Yep. It's more than well engineered enough. In fact, if any of the Ferraris on my list are engineered as well as the GT4, I'd be more than happy. The only thing I'm not happy with is it's got the wrong badge.
I think this video is going to be well over 15 minutes. I think when I get the stats at the end, it'll say like 5 or 10% of the people made it all the way to the end. But you know what? I don't care, because part of putting these videos together, it's a personal story for me to tell as well. So I hope you enjoy this video. I hope some of you make it to the end. Eddie's been kind enough to share a lot of ownership stories with us, so that sound never gets tiring, does it?
Never. This car lives in sport and exhaust mode.
Oh, there we go. It's the whole package. Is that on paper you might say, well, it's only 380 bhp, but you get in the car with the suspension. You really have to experience it. It's like buying food. I've only been to a Michelin-starred restaurant once in my life, and I remember thinking, why are we going there and going to spend so much money? But I then realised it's the presentation, it's the ambience, it's the cutlery. I had wine from I think a £50 crystal glass, and everything just tasted so much better. So this car has got that whole package thing going on.
The biggest issue about this kind of car is that you get loads of people who want to race you.
Yeah, we had that on the way down here with the Honda Type R. We don't need to prove anything. It's a great colour, you know. I'm going to say this car for me is better in carmine red than blue.
Yes.
Blue is normally my car, but there's something I think just powerful about it being that blood red colour.
Yeah, and it's not your usual red, because it's a deeper shade, as opposed to, say, the Guards red, which is much more vibrant. This is a bit more, in my view, menacing.
That sounds the best for me. So Eddie, you were telling me something about the clearance on your car. Let's have a look at it.
Hardly any.
When he said it was 1 foot clearance, okay, let's clarify. It's about the height of one of his feet.
Yeah, there you go.
That's crazy.
Compared to a 997.
Look at that. I mean, just look at that. We've got a 997 over there. You could probably crawl underneath that. Oh, there's that unfortunate scuff mark. That was a pothole, you said, yeah?
Yep, in Wales.
Oh, jeez.
But because of the way it's manufactured and designed, it's fairly easy to replace it. It comes off quite easily.
20-inch wheels, carbon ceramics. Check out those brake calipers. I mean, that is absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. You seriously going to let me start your car?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, wow, man. I tell you, it's not every day I'm taken by surprise. So, Eddie's letting me start his GT4. Oh, man. I'm going to shut up and just start the car. There's one thing you're telling me about the steering wheel. There's another thing sitting in the driver's seat. This seat's a lot better than that seat, Eddie. Look at, oh, man.
And you haven't even turned on the sports exhaust.
Got that rumble. Oh man. Oh jeez, this is amazing. Oh yes. That's the headers, yeah? Eddie, you've made my day. You've made my day. Being here with people that love their cars and appreciate their cars as well. You've worked hard in your life. You're not a 21-year-old who's just got a GT4. And this is what makes it all the more special, is that when you've worked hard in life and you get something that's so special to you, it's not just the car, it's the whole experience. I'm going to shut up, I'm going to let you drive the car, Eddie. Come on. Just getting out of that seat, it sounds such a trivial small thing, starting a car. Getting in the GT4 driver's seat, starting that engine, giving it a few throttle blips. It was such an emotional experience. Getting in that position, it's just the way that setup is there. The dash, it's got that fighter cockpit feel. The steering wheel, there's no clutter there, it's an Alcantara. I'll try and do justice to the time that you spent with me and the kind of insight you've given our viewers on what it's like to own a GT4. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video, and enjoying life and cars to the max.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Do you want to drive it?
No.
You can.
I don't think. You know what? It's the splitter that would and the gear. So there's Eddie's. On film, he's just asked me, maybe on another day, but right now I just feel too excited, and plus I'd like to know the road. To me, it's an amazing offer.
Do you want to drive it or not?
I'm sitting in a GT4 And I'm in the driver's seat. Eddie said to me, I've never seen anyone that's been so nervous about getting behind the wheel of my car. Yeah, first he's way taller, so it must be every gear must be taller.
Everything is taller, apart from the ride height.
So normally I'm the one doing the filming. There's a kid here filming me on his iPhone, thinking it's my car. It's
exactly.
Exactly what Eddie just said.
That's my impression when I first got into it.
I'm in a GT4. Oh, that's what I don't have. Oh, I love that downshift throttle blip. Oh, that's awesome. This car shifts better than mine, I'll tell you that.
Yep. The gear shift is awesome.
I'm in fourth gear doing 45 miles an hour. Eddie was like, I never get into fourth. Oh, that downshift blip. So I haven't got that. That is nice. That's nice, and it's a lot better than even when I try and do it myself, because it's short, sharp, and to the point. So yeah, that really eases up the shifting.
Yep.
Just do it. Yeah, Eddie said if you're going to get a GT4, just do it. Now I understand. You could drive this every day. In terms of bumps and jumps coming through the suspension, it's not at all jarring.
It's more planted and more comfortable, even with PASM switched on, than my old Mini Cooper.
Oh, Eddie, thank you so much. Oh, man.
Second and third gear is what I live in most of the time, so.
Oh man, this is the place to be. I want one. I want a GT4. So tell us about when you first got behind. You took this car out on a test drive, didn't you, before you bought it?
Yep.
And then how quickly after getting behind the wheel did you know this car was yours?
Probably about 10 minutes.
Okay.
The moment I sat in it, the gear change, the ambience, and just the acceleration and the pinpoint handling.
Eddie mentioned that word ambience and he's hit the nail on the head. I'm never going to get fed up with this rev matching on the downshift. I love that.
Speed camera coming up, 40 zone.
I was only doing 38, Eddie. I mean, I'm not a hooligan, okay? Through that corner, we're not even doing speeds, but you feel the composure.
Yep.
It's so planted. There is no other. Eddie, forget the Ferrari, Eddie. You don't need it. You don't. Apart from achieving that boyhood dream.
Yeah. That's the main thing about the Ferrari. It's more of an achievement thing. Because drivability wise, I know I would prefer this.
This is the Cayman we all dream about.
Absolutely. The sound.
That was only 4,000 RPM.
Yeah.
Jeez. You know what? Compared to my car, when you put your foot down on the gas and then take your foot off the gas,
It's
still got a bit of momentum there. When you take the foot off the gas in my car, there is a bit of a jolting moment as you take your foot off. Whereas here, it's very fluid. And this is your everyday supercar. Now, I call my Cayman 987 J2 a super space car, but this is genuinely a supercar, okay? And I dare you, if you're going to say this car is not a supercar, drive one first and then tell me it's not a supercar. What do you think, Eddie?
I agree. It's an everyday supercar.
Yes.
It's the kind of car that, if I'm honest, I would even let my mother drive. And I must admit, I do get a little bit of my petrol head from her. Although she's not into cars, but she does like to go a little bit quicker than your average everyday granny.
When Eddie said he spends most of his time in second and third gear, his voice is going through my head. I've been in third gear for most of this journey. So smooth. I mean,
that's why sometimes I only get 200-mile range out of a tank.
Oh, Fabspeed headers, I need to check that out.
For all I know, I might end up getting a Ferrari and then swapping it out again after a few months. But that does then mean I've achieved my goal.
Correct.
And I can come back to maybe a 718 GT4. I don't know.
I had no idea I was going to get behind the wheel of this car, and when you were talking to me about the car, I could understand what you were saying, but experiencing it,
Yeah,
I
it's another
completely understand everything you've been saying. Completely.
I mean, I know it's been bemoaned by so many people, but the moment that Porsche went to the 4-cylinder for the 718, it just wasn't, to me, the same. Even though dynamically and so on, it's a better car.
If someone's in a 981, they've got a GTS, they've got a Cayman S, they're thinking about a GT4, but you know what?
Do it.
They're just thinking, oh man,
Do
it's
it.
quite a bit more. I think you summed it up, yeah? Don't sweat the money, yeah? Actually, we talked upon that. Probably the depreciation will be less on your GT4 than on any of the other Caymans, I guess.
On any of my other Porsches.
Really? Wow.
That's what I'm expecting anyway. That said, I didn't lose money on the 981, but I sold very early on, only 6 months after I bought it. And then I switched to the Cayman GT4, and I don't expect to lose much, if anything. At least I'm hoping not.
You've had the car 6 months now?
Since October, so now, yeah, roughly.
Yeah, and it's been putting a smile on your face ever since.
Every time I get
It's
in
in beautiful condition, I have to admit. So it's mint.
It was fairly underused when I bought it, I think. Only 2,300 miles on it.
Wow, practically brand new.
Yeah. The 911 doesn't really appeal to me. It's too big, and
you can say that because you've owned a 911 before. But there's a lot of people that might go, but you just secretly want a 911. You had one and you sold it.
I've had one. But I've now had 2 Caymans, one 911. I've always felt, and I absolutely believe it now, that I've driven 2 Caymans. For me, the Caymans handle better on a day-to-day basis, not just about ragging it on track, but as a daily use kind of car, or even a car to enjoy over the weekends. It handled beautifully, and it's so perfectly balanced. Whereas the 911 I had, where I live, there's a lot of mini roundabouts. I can do full 360s on the roundabouts without trying, especially in winter. And it's very tail happy, which is fine if you want to have fun all the time. But when you're using it as a daily driver, as I did with the 911, you don't necessarily want to have fun when you're on a mini roundabout in rush hour. You just want to get from A to B.
Has that happened to you before?
Oh yeah.
Really?
I've done a 360 on a T-junction in the 911.
Without turning off traction control?
Without turning off traction control. And I didn't want to do a 360. It did scare a few other drivers around me at the time. So that was the 911. But when I was driving to enjoy it and so on, it was a great car. However, the Cayman, both Caymans, are, how would I say it, dependable when you need them to be, and really fun when you want them to be. And they're still just small enough to be, well, I consider them as a compact sports car. I don't see the 911s as compact. Well, not unless you're talking about the 60s and 70s and so on.
This is amazing insight. I tell you what, I've got to really say thank you for this, Eddie.
No worries.
I've reached out to Eddie. It's an amazing insight he's given us here, and I just think you've just confirmed that is my ideal car. So you know what? I'm so happy that you've managed to get that car. I hope you like this video. There's some insight here. Leave some comments below if you're thinking about getting a GT4. What do you reckon, Eddie? Absolutely,
Do
just
it.
do it. Okay, if you can do it, and you know what, you probably will lose less money. Well, you will,
might even appreciate.
That's true.
for all
We
the
don't
way
know
now.
what's going to happen with the 718 yet. You know. And you know what, the pricing hasn't come out yet on the 718, so
No.
even if they put a flat 6 in the 718 GT4, I think the pricing of that's going to be nuts, because your car new is about £68,000.
Thereabouts, yeah.
I know you got carbon ceramics, that would have probably been around £8,000
Yeah.
extra. Your cars still sell above list on the used market, so
Yep. If I
yeah.
sold it now, I won't lose any money on it, and I've already had 6 months of enjoyment out of it. So
enjoyment in capitals, by the way.